Hey, 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 it's Matt Frazier, the Psychic Medium, and I am live right now. Tap on your screen, come in and join me. I want to talk to you about when souls cross over. What actually happens when souls take their last breath and they get to the other side? Have you ever wondered, what do they go through? What do they see? What do they experience? What is actually happening? It's really hard for us as humans because when we lose a loved one, we watch them take their last breath, and then for us, it just seems so final, right? All of a sudden, their chest stops moving. They don't respond anymore, right? They pass away, and then we wonder what's actually happening. What's actually going on with them? Well, I am here to share with you everything that I've learned as a psychic medium about how souls cross over and how souls get to the other side. One of the most amazing things that I've learned about souls getting to the other side is that they don't actually get there alone. Before a loved one actually passes away, whether they're in a car accident, whether they have long-term passing, meaning that they know that they've been sick for quite some time, they're getting ready to pass, or whether it is that they pass by themselves or with family members, something happens that's very special. Is that a couple moments before a loved one passes away, I've seen this happen a couple days before, right up to a couple moments before, heaven gets alerted. And the moment that your loved one starts to make their transition to the other side, there's a whole team in heaven that gets ready. A team of spirit guides, guardian angels, and loved ones on the other side. And what's really interesting is that loved ones and spirits start to prepare that person for their journey. If you've ever been there with someone before they pass away, before they take their last breaths, they start to go through these really vivid, I want to call them visions that they have, but they're actually seeing into the other side. There's so many videos that I've seen shared across social media. There was a woman that was going like this as she was passing away. And it almost looked like she was going and petting a cat or petting a dog. And at that moment, when I saw that video, immediately I knew she was probably seeing her pet in the afterlife. There's also so many videos online where people will reach up and say, I'm coming home, or Mom, wait for me, or Dad, I'm coming to you. If you've lost a loved one, you have maybe seen something similar. You may have seen your loved one talking to somebody in the room that wasn't there, or pointing to someone in the room that wasn't there. This happens before we actually leave our body. Even when souls are in a coma, even when souls can't speak, what's so amazing and what the souls have told me is that when they transition to the other side, it's a peaceful process. And when souls pass away tragically, what's really crazy is that even though it may happen on impact or happens really quickly to your loved one in spirit, many times they don't even realize what actually has happened. It's a peaceful and gradual process. And many times the accident that they passed in or the tragedy that they passed in feels like it was a dream. It feels like it wasn't even real. So I'm here to unpack everything. I want to share everything with you. And for those of you who are here with me right now, say hello, leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys are tuning in for. And let me know if you have any questions. I see Diana is here. Anna Alvarez is here. I see Courtney Mitchell is here. I also see Robin is here. I see Carlene is here. I love when you guys send me comments. I see you guys right at the bottom of the screen. So leave a comment. I see Joe Lynn is here. Nicole is here. I also see Alex is here as well. Let's unpack. Let's dive in. So crossing over. What's so amazing with spirits is that when they talk about crossing over, it's all about leaving their physical body here and their soul transitioning on. Have you ever heard of something called the tunnel of white light? Well, the tunnel of white light isn't actually a doorway or a passageway like you may have read about, or you may have heard about, or we may have seen in the movies. The tunnel of white light is actually your soul lifting up and out of your body. So here's what's really cool. We have our physical body, and then deep within us is your soul. And your soul looks just like you do. Think about this. Your soul is an exact version of you, but a version of you that can't be harmed. Your soul is a duplicate. So, for example, when you lose a leg, when you lose a finger, when you lose a toe, your soul remains untouched. When you have an illness that's hit you, for example, Alzheimer's, dementia, something that affects your mind, your soul remains untouched. And what I love about your soul is that it's the backup version of you. Everything that you experience in life, all of your memories, all of your memories, your personality, all of the treasures that you hold on to, like remembering your son's first steps, thinking about your parents' wedding day, thinking about all of these things that were shared with you, the stories that were shared with you, the moments that you went through, the things that you remember that you learned here in life are also stored within your soul. Why is this important? Well, it's important when crossing over. So souls tell me this. When souls actually transition onto the other side and your soul lifts out of your body, what happens is that to us, as humans, it looks like we're going through a tunnel of white light. What is the tunnel of white light? Well, it's actually not a passageway to the other side. It kind of is, but it isn't. I want to explain it to you. Is that when your body when your body starts to break down and your soul lifts up and out, your soul is energy. So we go from a physical form into a spiritual form. And when this happens, what we see is this beautiful white light. When we see this beautiful white light that appears in front of our eyes when we are passing on, it's literally our soul crossing over. It's us going from a physical form to a spiritual form, to just being energy. So what's really amazing is what souls tell me is that when they're crossing over, it's the most amazing experience. And the reason why is that when souls are first passing away, it's scary for them, right? They're in a hospital bed. They're feeling all this pain. They might have tubes hooked up to them. They might not be able to breathe on their own. They might not be able to use their legs or feel their legs or move or talk or do any of these things. But the moment that your soul starts to lift out of your body, something else lifts off too. The illness gets left behind. So as your soul lifts out of your body, all of a sudden, that feeling of pain starts to leave you. All of a sudden, if you had Alzheimer's or dementia, or if your memory was impaired, thoughts start to come back. You start to feel again, right? You start to be able to feel your hands and your legs and your arms. Even though you're going from a physical form to an energy form, guess what? You still have feeling. I'll explain that to you in a minute. So as our soul lifts out and out of our body, what souls experience to me is that even the souls that were most afraid, even the souls that were so afraid of death, so afraid of leaving this world, the moment that they start to transition on, they start to feel loved. They start to feel this intense, warm peace come over them. And suddenly they start to feel their illness subside. And the thing that they once feared, the things that was so, so scary to them, was actually not as scary at all. For example, souls will tell me that transitioning on for them, what they thought was scary, what they thought was going to sting, what they thought was going to hurt, actually wasn't that experience. What they realize is, oh my God, I can't believe that I've been in so much pain for so long. I can't believe that I haven't been able to talk. I haven't been able to swallow. I haven't been able to digest food. I haven't been able to do all these things. This is what I feel like when I used to feel good. And what's crazy is that when your loved ones slip out of their body, when their soul transitions on, what's so beautiful is that they feel like they did back before they were sick. Nothing is hurting them anymore. Nothing is causing them pain. There is no negative thoughts. There is nothing to be scared about. There's no depression. There's nothing like that. And immediately when your loved ones get to the other side, it's this instant sigh of relief because they're starting to see familiar faces. They see their spirit guide. They see their guardian angel. And you might be like, how is that a familiar face? We don't know our spirit guide or our guardian angel. Well, when they see these souls, instantly they remember them. They remember them from before birth. It's like, oh my God, I know you. Who are you? I know you. They get introduced to them. And then they start to see family members that they haven't seen in years and years. Their mother, their father, their sister, their brother. And in many times, there's souls that appear that they thought that they'd never see again. For example, there was this one woman that I was connecting with that was so afraid of death, that was so afraid of dying, that begged her daughter to sit by her side until she took her last breath. And the moment that her soul started to lift out and out of her body, the moment she went through this tunnel of white light and the white light started to appear and she felt that she could breathe again. She felt her body, all the pain leaving her. Something happened. She saw her husband there on the other side, and her husband wasn't alone. Her husband was holding this little baby. Who was this little baby? Well, this little baby was a baby that she lost years ago. A baby that had died during birth that was taken from her. That, because back in those days, they would just, I guess, from what she had told me, is that the nurses and the doctors took the baby away. She was never able to see that baby. And her soul was never at peace with that. All throughout life, she wondered about that child. And when she passed away, she was brought to this amazing picture of her husband standing there with this beautiful baby that she had lost. She was able to hold that baby again, to finally see that child, and she was filled with tears. Not sad tears, happy tears, because she never thought that she would ever be able to see that child or experience that child. This is what's so beautiful, is that when people pass away, they realize, oh my God, I'm not here, right? And I think that's the biggest misconception, is people think like, oh my God, because I'm crossing over, it must feel weird. Now, what does it feel like when we leave our body? Well, we don't feel any different. And I'm going to explain it to you. What souls explain to me is that if you've ever been through an operation, I don't care if it's been when you get your wisdom teeth removed, if you broke a leg, if you hurt your back, have you ever been so sick right? How many of you have had sickness? For example, I had the flu one year, actually a couple of years ago. I had the flu. You guys, I literally felt like I was going to die. I have never been so sick. 104 temperatures, right? I couldn't breathe. I had the cold sweats. My whole body had hurt. I felt like I fell off of a building. And then I went to bed. And when I went to bed and I went to sleep, I was in this dream. And I remember I didn't feel any pain. I didn't feel anything. I felt so wonderful. And then when I woke up, I was like, oh my God, I could feel the headache. I could feel the night sweats. I could feel all this pain again. I'm like, oh my God, I wish I just stayed sleeping. I just wish that I was in this state again. Well, that's what happens when we pass away. How many of you experience something like that? I want to explain this to you because a lot of people ask me, what's it like to die? What's it like to die? And I ask the other side this, what's it like to die? What's it like to cross over? What is it actually like? And what the spirits explain to me is that it's like drifting off to sleep, right? Our body stays here when we drift off to sleep, but our soul goes somewhere else. We visit different places. We can visit loved ones in spirit. Loved ones in spirits can come and visit us. We don't feel any pain when we're sleeping, right? We're at peace. And when we're sleeping and when our body is at rest, what's so beautiful is that our soul can do amazing things, right? Our soul can visit the future. Our soul can go and visit loved ones that have passed away. Our souls can receive messages. We can see premonitional warnings, all of these things. But we don't realize what we're dreaming. But when our soul passes on and when we go to the other side, what's so beautiful is that we can see people in heaven, just like you're seeing me right now. And what's so beautiful is that the souls on the other side take a sigh of relief. And here's the reason why. We might not have any physical ailments or not have any physical organs, like we don't have hearts or lungs or things like that. But on the spirit side of life, we still have an appearance. So even though, and this is what's so crazy, even though our loved ones in spirit are energy and we can't see them with our own eyes, right? A lot of times when you see spirit, you'll see orbs appear or flashes of light or shadows or silhouettes. They don't look like that on the other side. When souls cross over and souls enter into the other side and enter into the spiritual side of life, they see each other just as we do as humans. Meaning that when souls communicate one another, when your mom and dad are seeing each other in heaven, they're seeing each other in full body form, just like you're seeing me right now, because they're in a world where they're in a world where they can see each other, where they can feel each other, and when both souls are alike, both souls are energy. So think of it this way. Have you ever seen people in a virtual reality game? You know those virtual reality games where you put the headsets on, and you put the gloves on, and you put the bodysuit on. And if you see people playing them at the mall or in different places, like for example, at the casinos, sometimes they have the virtual reality games. And you see people like doing these games and they look so weird, right? They have these helmets on and they get the gloves on and they're interacting with the world that they're not really in, right? And they can do these crazy things in this video game. Well, that's the same thing that happens when we're on the other side, is that when we're there, because we're energy and our loved ones are energy, to them, they still have an appearance. You still have hair. You still have nails. You still have clothes on, right? And we choose what we look like, just like in this world. And thank you, Lynn. Thank you so much. She's sending me the smiley faces. So what I want you to know is this. When it comes to the other side, when it comes to the afterlife, that's the reason why your loved ones in spirit get so excited to talk to you. It's because they want you to know, don't think of me as dead. Think of me as my best picture in the photo album. Think of me of how I was before I got sick, before I died, and how I looked, what I actually looked like. What I love so much about the spirits and connecting with the spirit world is that your loved ones are so positive once they get to heaven because nothing can touch them. So for example, your loved ones do change when they cross over. When they cross over and their soul goes through this whole process, they also go through a process called the life review. So the life review is really interesting because it all happens all at once. Do you ever remember, you guys, in Cinderella? I'm going to use an example. I love analogies. And you know when I love to tell the story of spirit, I love to use analogies because I think that's the best way that we learn. You know in Cinderella, when the fairy godmother waves her magic wand and Cinderella goes from wearing rags and and her hair not done to all of a sudden she starts turning around and the magic goes around her and she turns into this beautiful, beautiful princess, right? She has this big ball gown on. She's got makeup on. She's got these glass slippers on. It's like she transforms right in front of us. Well, that's what happens essentially when our soul transitions on, is that you might be in a hospital bed and not have a leg and not have hair and not being able to remember. So all of a sudden your soul lifts out. We go through this tunnel of white light, right? Our energy comes back and all of a sudden our leg starts to return, right? The vision of our leg, right? The memories that we lost here in this world because of illness starts to come back to us. Even more memories that we've forgotten about, childhood memories, the moment that we met our wife, the moment that we adopted our dog, right? Those all start to flood back. The illness starts to leave. Also, the things that were negative within our life starts to get replaced, the things that weren't really us. So for example, let's say at the end of your life, you struggled with addiction, right? Because you're no longer affected by that addiction, you don't have that anxiety, you don't have that hurt, you don't have that pain anymore, you have that happiness. So really what happens is that our soul goes from being broken and sick and sad to all of a sudden going through this process of getting to the other side where our body is returned back to the way that it was, our soul is put back together, we leave behind anything that's negative and it's replaced by our memories, by our positive thoughts and feelings, and we go through this life review. And we're able to see during this life review what our life really was, the challenges that we went through, the journey that we went through, the people that stuck by us, the people that hurt us. And we're able to see one thing, how our life had meaning, how every challenge that you went through had meaning, how every single thing that you did in life had meaning, whether it be big or whether it be small, and how even the smallest footstep that you had here on earth inspired someone, inspired some type of a change, inspired some type of something. Well, this is what's so beautiful, because I see that when souls get to the side, they are completely at peace because all of their questions are answered. They see all of their loved ones on the other side, and crossing over is really going from this world into the spirit world, and also all of the questions being tied up. So for all of you who have ever wondered something like, oh my God, I wonder if my mom made peace with my dad. I wonder if my mom, when she got to the other side, was able to figure out why this happened or why that happened. I wonder if my mom figured out this, that, the other thing. Well, you do, right? The part of the crossing over process is that heaven does not want to leave you with any questions. So when you're crossing over to the other side and there's still questions in your heart, like, what if? What if I went for the treatment? What if I had gotten that surgery? What if I ended up with this person instead of this person? What if I stayed with my ex-husband? All of those questions are answered. And what's so beautiful is that when we actually cross over, we're given this entire new outlook on our life because we see every challenge, every situation, what it meant. And we're also able to see something else. We're able to see how we're able to communicate back into this world. So for example, when we get to the other side and when souls get to the other side and they cross over, what's so amazing is that when they start to feel good again, immediately what they want to do is check up on you here on earth. So it's very common for me to hear souls tell me, Matt, when I got to the other side, the first thing that I did was come back and check up on my daughter. The first thing that I did was come back and check up on my mom or my aunt or whoever it is. Or sometimes it's even their pets. I've had so many souls come back and tell me, I was nervous because I didn't know what happened to my dog. And I came back from the afterlife and I saw that my sister had actually taken in my dog. And I was so happy to see that. And I was so happy to see that dog. Our loved ones still worry about us because they know that our last memories of them are many times seeing them sick, being worried about them. We're worried about how we're going to go on. We're worried about how we're going to heal. And you're not the only one. Your loved ones in spirit are worried as well. So when they cross over, they come back and they check on you. And they're also able to see things within your life. They're able to see what's going to happen to you 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 13 years from now. And they're able to see how they can help you. When your loved ones get to heaven and they have this new body, right, where their body's restored, where they feel so good, they feel so great. There's a couple things that they do. One, they come over and they check up on you. That's the reason why many times people will dream of a loved one that had passed away. So if you've had a dream of a loved one who had passed away, and all of a sudden you go to bed and you dream of your dad and you dream of your mom, they might not say anything. They might not talk to you in the dream, but you just see them standing there. How many of you have had that dream? How many of you have had that dream where you see your dad sitting there or your mom sitting there and they just look so beautiful? They might not say anything, but they just look beautiful. They look 10 years younger. They're glowing. They look like nothing has ever happened to them. Jenny's saying that happened to me. I also see Jenny saying, that's Jenny and Jenny. Jenny saying, I have. I also see Lee saying, I have. Diana saying, I have. Dixie saying, I have. That's their way of coming back. I see this happen all the time. Souls will come back in dreams to show you, hey, look at, I'm not the way that you last remembered me. This is what I look like now. And if you've ever had that dream, it's your loved one's way of coming back and showing you, this is who I am now. Don't cry. Remember me this way, not that way. So that's the first thing that happens when souls cross over. And then what also happens is your loved ones start to remember. right? They start to remember some of the challenges that you went through, some of the challenges that you struggled with before they left this world, and they start to figure out how they can help you. For example, I've seen this happen many times where your mom may have left this world and watched you struggle with finding your soulmate. So the first thing that she does on the other side is that she starts looking to see how she can get you in touch with your soulmate, where your soulmate is, who your soulmate is, and how you can get to that person. Maybe it is that before your mom left this world or your dad left this world, they saw you go through a terrible, terrible, terrible time. Maybe it was that you lost your job. Well, guess what? When they get to the other side, they will go and find a way to link you with a person to get to that job, to open your eyes up, or to get you in front of certain people or certain opportunities to help you to land that job, to help your future feel more secure. Your loved ones are opening up amazing doors for you. And I'm telling you this because when your loved ones pass away, you might say, well, Matt, you're telling me about all these amazing things that happen for them. What about for me? Well, your loved ones have experienced life. They know what they went through in life. They've learned all of these life lessons. They share the life lessons that they've learned when they cross over. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And then they also come back to look after you. So part of the transition process, and the reason why your life review is so important, is that this is something that people fear all the time. They're like, Matt, when I go through my life review, like, what happens? Like, what happens when I look back on my life, when there's things that I regret, when there's things like that I'm not proud of, like addictions, right? Or, things that I lied and cheated on, or whatever it may be. What I want you to know is that all of the life lessons, all of the hardships, all of the things that you went through, everything that you've learned, that your soul learned, your soul remembers. And guess what? The same way that we learn things here on earth through some terrible ways, right? How many of you have been back in school and we've learned things that we did in the past that we're not proud of as humans, right? We learned about racism. We learned about war. We learned about horrible medical techniques back in the day, right? About lobotomies. We learned about medical procedures and how we've evolved over time, right? We look back and we're upset that, unfortunately we've had to go through these things, but it shaped who we are today, right? Because of the mistakes that we've made, we have these major advances in medical today, right? We're able to do these amazing things. For example, back in the day, my grandmother passed of breast cancer. Well, today, there's a statistic out there that 90% of women who get breast cancer will survive, right? And I think that statistic has even gone up. What an amazing number. It's because of all of these advances. But what I want you to know is that that's what our soul is remembering. All of these challenges that we're going through as humans, how we're learning, how we're evolving. And guess what? When our soul goes to the other side, we share all of this information. It's like our soul downloads all these things that we learn and we share it with the other spirits. Just like when we learn things here in this world, we put it in textbooks, we put it in history books. I wrote books to share about experiences. This is my new one, Don't Wait Till You're Dead, right? Well, we have history books, tons of history books, encyclopedias. We have tons of research books, right? And it's actually funny. I was going back and I was reading back through, some of my EMT book, back when I was an emergency medical technician, because I was, just looking back some things about how to take care of, young children. There was some things that I wanted to look up. And I realized that when I was an EMT, right, back, oh my God, what was it, 10 years ago? Back 10 years ago when I was an EMT, I'm looking back on this textbook and I'm like, oh my God, so much of this we don't even use anymore. So much of this isn't even in practice. The way that we do CPR is different, right? The way that we go and we treat some of these injuries are different. It's kind of like I laughed at it and it's like, I can't believe that this is what it was then just 10 years ago to now, right? We learn. Well, our soul learns and we download and we share all of this with the spirit world. And why is this important? Well, when we cross over, our soul downloads, we share all these experiences that we went through. And this is something called universal knowledge. Universal knowledge is a universal truth, just like how you can go into AI, you can type in a question, and based on everything that we put into the internet, an answer will pop up, right? From all of our texts over all this time that we put things into the internet, you type in a question to AI and boom, the answer comes up based on the text on the internet. Well, that's what happens in the spirit world. So the reason why I'm telling you this is that this is where psychics and mediums get their information from, not from AI, but there's a spirit AI. It's called universal knowledge. All of these souls share this information when they cross over and they get to the other side. They all share these life experiences. And that's why when I'm giving a reading and I'm connecting with your mom or your dad or your sister or your brother, they always have the best advice. They always know what to say. They always know how to solve a problem. They always know what you've went through because guess what? They may not have gone through it, but someone in the spirit world has. And the same way that you can go through college and through school and learn about all of these things in history, you can learn all these things in textbooks, well, your loved ones in spirit learn through this collective knowledge of universal knowledge, universal truths from the afterlife. That's why when your loved ones come through, they always know the answer. They always know how to help you. And the answer might be different than when it was alive. For example, your mom may have been really, really controlling. She may have been someone who held grudges. She may have been somebody who, would have told you, don't talk to that person, hold on to this grudge, do this, and this. But in the afterlife, is giving you totally different advice. Why? Because her soul has changed. Now that she's in spirit, she sees life differently. And oh my God, thank you, Nicole. I just saw that comment come through. I love you too. So what I want, oh my God, and Stacy, thank you so much. Stacy goes, I'm such a believer in you. Oh my God, look at all these comments right here. Thank you guys. This melts my heart. Thank you so much for that. So what I want you to know is this, is that crossing over is a beautiful thing because we get to share our lifetime. We get to share our life lessons. We get to share all these challenges with our spirit worlds. And ultimately, we get to make the lives for the people who are living here on earth even better, right? It's the reason why every generation is better. Right? It's because of the fact that we learn here on earth, we learn in the spirit world, spirit guides us and helps us, and we're living life with our loved ones in spirit. And what I mean by that is that your dad and your mom and your sister and people who had passed away are part of your spiritual team that walk with you every single day. And they truly want you to know this. You're not alone. That any challenge or struggle that you think is hard or is tough or is challenging, they know how to solve and fix. And here's what they also know as well. Your loved ones in spirit know what's going to bring you the ultimate happiness. And they know this because they've lived their life, they've passed on, they're on the other side, and those are always the best people to get advice from. It's always amazing when you look back and you talk to somebody, right? And listen, don't get mad at me for this. Don't get mad at me for this. I'm going to say something that's a little bit controversial, right? But it's like, I love to go to people who have actually done amazing things within their life. For example, would you take advice from someone, from me, who's only been married 4 years, or would you want to take advice from somebody who's been married 60 years, has had this amazing life, has been through all the struggles, has been through everything, right? Whose advice would you want to take? Well, I'm going to tell you, for marriage advice, I'd want to take, the person who's been married 60 years because they've been through it all. Well, that's why the spirit world is so amazing, because our loved ones have lived life, been through every challenge and struggle. And even when they haven't, someone else on the other side has, and they know how to help us. And that's why readings are so powerful, because when your loved ones in spirit come through, they're not talking to you from a place of what they would have done when they were here. They're talking to you from a place of the knowledge that they have now from the other side. So I want to share that with you. And Taylor goes, I would take your advice. Well, thank you. You're only saying that, Taylor, because I'm a psychic medium and I listen to the spirit world, right? That's the only reason why I would take my advice too. But, right, you know what I'm trying to say. Like, I love going to people. Who have done these amazing things within life. That's what I want to learn from. And that's why I love talking to the spirits, because I hear from these souls that did amazing things here in this world, that have crossed on and shared with me all these life lessons, which is why I'm able to come through and talk to you here today. Every single thing that I teach you guys, that I talk about, that I've learned and I've experienced has been through the other side. When I give readings, when I connect with your loved ones, they share with me secrets of the afterlife, and I take that information and I pass it back to you. And if you find this information helpful, please click share. Please click share and pass this information on, because I'm sure that there's someone who needs it. But I also want you to know this, and thank you, Patricia, as well. I also want you to know that your loved ones don't want to keep this information to themselves. They want to be able to intervene within your life, to send you love, to send amazing things, to help things happen within your life. They do this through coincidences. They do this by sending you certain signs, and they also do this by orchestrating things in heaven. So what I want to let you know is this, is that a lot of you have been really asking me questions like, Matt, how is my loved one helping me from heaven? How do I sense and feel them? Well, the first thing is knowing that they're there and opening yourself up. And you would not believe how many people come to me that don't think their mom is there, that don't think their dad is there, that don't think that there's someone in heaven watching over them. And then they get this amazing reading and they realize, oh my God, I can't believe my dad came through. I can't believe my mom is here. I didn't sense them. I didn't feel them until now. Well, I know that many of you have been asking me, Matt, I need your help. How do I get in touch with you? How do I speak with you? How do I find you? Well, here's the secret, is that I don't do private readings. I haven't done private readings in years and years and years since the television show, since writing my books, since filming, since being on tour, since being a dad. There's absolutely no time to do it. But what I want to let you know is that there's another way that you can get a reading with me. It's called online readings. And I want to let you know that I'm taking some time off from touring for 2 months. I'm going to be here. And I'm doing 3 special online readings in June. June 12th, June 14th, and June 22nd, I'm going to be doing readings right here in this office, and you can join me live online. So what I want you to know is this. If you've never been to an online reading, the way that it works is you go to my website, meetmattfrazier.com. You sign up. It's only $22, by the way, $22 to sign up for an online reading. And during those events, I read as many people as possible. I've read over 2,000 people online. And I'm telling you this because so many people have been writing to me saying, Matt, how do I get an online reading? I thought you don't do private readings. I see all of these readings that you've done on YouTube, Facebook. There's hundreds, right? Well, what I want you to know is that I've done them all through online readings. Every single person who's gotten a reading with me has signed up online. And all you need is your iPhone, your tablet, or your computer to attend. And if you've never been to an online reading, here's how it works. The moment you sign up, it's $22. I will send you an email with the link that you click. Boom, you're live. I see you, you see me, and I pull up family after family after family, and I do as many readings as possible. Whoever spirit speaks to me, that's who comes through. If you've never been to an online reading, I want to show you what it's like. Take a look. I see my girls, and they're actually not fighting right now. We tell
Oh my
Whoa.
God! No,
There
you
you go.
didn't just say that.
Okay, now I'm a believer.
I mean, my Instagram and all my social media don't have any pictures. I don't post anything of that nature. And for you to say the things that you just said, you don't know how you just changed my life.
He knows about the way that you asked to stay with his body after he died.
No one knows that.
I know it because I've been talking to your father. Who the hell do you think I'm talking to?
Oh my God.
Okay, there's a soul that's here that's trying to grab my attention that's telling me that they passed during a procedure.
That's my sister.
She's here. This is weird. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Do you still have your daughter's hair? She just said to me, talk about the hair and they're going to know that it's real.
She had cancer. We had her hair cut.
She was growing her hair out to donate to a little girl.
Did your dad used to hide money in coffee cups?
Oh my God, we found those old coffee tins hidden in the basement with tons of money.
I'm also seeing the situation where he had a procedure done.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, you're so right. I
And
did not believe you were real. I mean, I wanted to. Oh my God.
your brother's telling me that he had thoughts of ending his life here in this world.
How do you know this? I found you like randomly too. It was like on YouTube, and I was like, he's got to be one that my brother was telling me to find.
That's crazy. You guys, that's what an online reading is like, just like that. Family after family after family, I read as many people as possible. Those are not private readings. Every single one of those people who got read only paid $22. And I've been able to read for people all over the world, all over the United States, Canada. I've been able to read for people in England, Australia, and even as far away as China. So if you want to join me, there's only 3 online readings that I'm doing in June, and we're about to sell out. I can only allow a limited amount of people. So here's what you need to do. Go to my website, meetmattfrazier.com, scroll down to where it says online readings. And once you're there, you're going to see these 3 dates, June 12th, June 14th, and June 22nd. It's only $22. And the moment that you sign up, I'm going to send you a link to your email inbox, and you can attend using your iPhone, Android phone, iPad, computer. If you're seeing me right now, you can get online. Like I said, I send you an email, you click it, and boom, you're there. And I want to make sure that you come and attend. I tried to keep this as affordable as ever. It's only $22 to reserve your spot. And you know, the sad part is that there's still people who haven't signed up and attended. People who've been following me for years that have been like, oh, I won't do it because I'm a group. And there's been some people who have been to the online readings, one time heard from their dad, one time heard from their son or their daughter. You know, they've been read multiple times. There's some people who have been there who have had life-changing experiences because they didn't think anybody would come through and received a beautiful message from heaven. So I want to let you know that if you are one of the ones that have been waiting for years and years to get a reading with me, to hear from someone on the other side, you've got to make sure that you're there, because being at an online reading isn't just about the individual messages. It's about learning how spirit communicates, why they communicate, about tapping into your own psychic ability, opening yourself up to the other side, and so much more. So that being said, if you're going to join me, I want you to know that June 12th is almost sold out. That's a Thursday night, 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for those of you who wanted a weekend, I also have Saturday, June 14th at 12:00 p.m. as well. That's 12:00 noon Eastern Standard Time. So that's 12:00 on East Coast. That's right. 10 o'clock a.m. on West Coast. I had to use my fingers to count for a minute. But I really hope that you'll come and join me. So meetmattfrazier.com, meetmattfrazier.com, June 12th, live online. If you want to join me, head to my website right now before we're sold out, meetmattfrazier.com. Meetmattfrazier.com. This is your last chance. I hope that you guys will come and see me online because I know that there are so many messages that the spirit world has been trying to reach you with. Butterflies, dragonflies, repeating numbers, so many different ways that they're trying to get your attention. And when the time is right, they'll even speak through a medium like myself. But the sad part is that many people are going to see this and not even sign up, not go to the website, and still left wondering, is my loved one really there? Is my loved one really with me? But I opened this up because I know the people who really need it, the people who really need to be there will. I've gotten to meet over 2,000 people and read over 2,000 people at these online readings. And I hope that you're the next one. So this is your opportunity. I know that I've been sold out for many of the online readings, but I have these openings that are up. So like I said, June 12th is the next one, June 14th and June 22nd. So just head to meetmattfrazier.com and click on online readings. It's only $22 here in the United States to reserve your spot. I hope to see you there. I'm so excited, and I'll be looking for you guys live online. Head on over before it's too late.